The autopsy of JonBenét Ramsey turned up another piece of evidence, and another piece of the puzzle that didn't quite seem to fit.
At autopsy, it was found that there was material in her small intestine consistent with pineapple.
But according to both parents, she hadn't been fed any pineapple that day.
I don't know when she would have eaten it. She was sound asleep when we got home.
I will guarantee you it was not after she came home she was sound asleep. So it had to be at the Whites or prior to that.
Okay.
According to the Ramseys and other witnesses, the family left home at 5:30 to attend an evening Christmas party at the home of Fleet and Priscilla White, where no pineapple was served. JonBenét had fallen asleep on the drive home around 10 p.m. and did not wake up when John put her to bed.
It was significant to determine how the pineapple got there and if she had gotten it by herself or if somebody had gotten it for her and at what time frame. This would have helped in a lot of different areas as far as pinpointing possibly time of death or who was the last person to see her.
Then, months after the murder, an investigator examining photographs of the crime scene noticed a bowl on the breakfast room table. The police had always assumed it contained cereal, but when they took a closer look at its contents, which had been preserved, they found pineapple.
And you said that earlier you'd cleaned off the table after the breakfast. So that wasn't there.
No, I did not feed JonBenét. I don't know how it got in her stomach. I don't know where this bowl of pineapple came from. I can't recall putting that there.
The pineapple only deepened the mystery. No one could pinpoint a motive for the Ramseys to lie about it, and it didn't seem to fit the intruder theory either.
If JonBenét ate the pineapple after she came back from the Whites, does that mean that she was sitting there eating the pineapple with somebody she knew? That she was eating it alone? Because it's a very chilling feeling to know that she sat eating pineapple with the person who might be responsible for her death. And that chilling feeling is one of the things that have haunted this case.
Kept from the public until now is the fact that a glass containing a tea bag was photographed next to the bowl of pineapple. How did it get there? And was the tea and the pineapple consumed at the same time?
That I did not do this. If she ate that, somebody put that there. I can never recall putting a tea bag like that in a cup. So, I don't know what the answer is.
According to police files, none of the family's friends or any members of the Ramsey family had any idea who had prepared or served the tea. During the investigation, the crime lab found Patsy and her 10-year-old son Burke's fingerprints on the bowl and Burke's on the glass of tea, adding to the mystery.
Another area I'm always curious is whether or not DNA been done on the glass and the bowl, and particularly the spoon. Not only the eating area, also the handle.
But according to investigators, no DNA tests have ever been conducted on the spoon, bowl, or glass.
If we have those information, that may give us some clue what's the possible scenario there.
The investigation was now over a year old, with no arrests and seemingly no breaks in the case.
I think there's still things that can be done. There's still information out there that can be gathered, and we're going to get it. I'm confident of that.
With the public and the media pressing for answers, the district attorney and police department were still looking at the evidence from very different points of view.
And as time went on, the canyon between them became wider and wider. At one point, the police asked for the Ramseys to be charged, and the district attorney refused to for lack of evidence.
But in this case, it seemed that the longer it went on, the more questions came up, the more confusing it got. The closer, they would get to some evidence, then all of a sudden, boom, something else would happen and they'd be even farther away from an answer.
Finally, as the investigation was entering its 18th month, the Boulder police convened an unprecedented conference, bringing together all the investigators, forensic specialists, and lawyers who had worked on the case to present their evidence to the district attorney. Would that produce the break investigators needed? A year and a half after the murder of JonBenét Ramsey, police in Boulder, Colorado took an unprecedented step, convening a conference to sort through all the available evidence.
There were police officers who were testifying, FBI agents, forensic evidence. Everybody who had been involved in this case, who had anything to contribute or anything to say, was part of this conference.
One was Michael Cain, a prosecutor who had handled difficult cases.
I'd never been involved in a case that had such a wide array of trace evidence. Every hair, every fiber, every fingerprint, every shoe print, every imaginable piece of evidence or something that could be evidence was gathered.
They have over 1,000 pieces of physical evidence, about 4,000 fibers alone. That tremendous material you have to weed through.
Boulder PD presented what they felt was a strong enough case to indict the Ramseys. They focused on the following points: the unusual ransom note written with paper and pen from inside the Ramsey house, the fact that Patsy could not be eliminated as the author, the odd amount of ransom asked for, the fact that Patsy greeted police wearing the same clothes she'd worn the previous night, as if she'd never been to bed, and the fact that there was no sign of forced entry. Police also believed that an intruder couldn't possibly have carried out the murder without disturbing or alerting the occupants of the house.
After the presentation by the Boulder Police Department was concluded, the Boulder PD felt that they had an airtight case.
But end of the meeting, we still have more questions and answers.
The DA's office concluded that there wasn't enough evidence for an indictment.
There was a lot that was offered that the police department sincerely felt was strong evidence that in fact wasn't evidence at all. And there was a lot of work that needed to be done on the case.
Even if you had solid evidence showing that that murder had taken place in the house by a family member, you had no way of saying it was father or mother.
The investigation had gone as far as the police could take it. The only investigative tool left was to use a grand jury. The grand jury marked a new phase in the search for JonBenét's killer, the first time average citizens would be involved.
There was a lot of anticipation that something would now finally happen in this case.
The grand jury subpoena power can be used to get records, documents, things that, because of privacy interests, are not readily available except through a search warrant.
The work of the grand jury is secret. Details of their day-to-day investigation